Alrighty, we are back with a little bit more discussion, info, whatever you want to call it for the Hero Celebration. Now, I want to talk about today, who should we be picking up with the potential stones, the special Dragon Ball Hero stones that you can get in the shop tab, as well as blue coins. Now, first and foremost, what I want to get out of the way is if you are somebody who is looking and wondering who you should pick up with the white stone here, the special stone, keep in mind, like I said, these are gated behind a purchase. So I am never going to recommend that you put your money into this game. And this section is simply for those who have already spent the money and they just want to know who to get with the stone, right? It's a tough spot because, again, I understand that, like, you know, it's tempting to want to get one of these stones to potentially just pick up one of these units and not summon on the banner, which I completely understand. But again, I am not going to sit up here and tell you that you should get this because it's good value. Like I said, I will never recommend that you spend money, but if you do spend the money, I can at least point you in the right direction, right? So as long as we're all on the same page here about the philosophy behind buying sales, buying stone packs, stuff like that. Again, not going to recommend it, but if you did do it, I'm going to have information for you on what you should do. I'm going to be flashing up a timestamp on the screen for if you want to skip over this section and focus on the blue coin side of things if you potentially have the amount of coins to purchase a character, and then we can kind of go from there. So, how do we get this white stone if you don't know what to do with it, right? Or where to get it, right? If we go over to the shop, and I'm not going to click on it and purchase it myself, but if we go over here on the top, we are going to be able to purchase 3 characters for a pretty hefty price, honestly. I definitely would say this is not worth it. For if you're trying to pick up like a stone sale or something like that, but it is here, and I just want to let you know, if you are somebody that did fork over, you know, the $38 3 times, then we're going to have options of 3 characters to purchase here. So who should we be picking up with this potential characters here, right? All of these prospective Easy A characters. First and foremost, I think the best character in this bunch, it's tough, right? Like, okay, so let me just say, like, I think the best option, I think the most, like, well-rounded character that's going to help out the most amount of units, I think it's going to be God Trunks. I think that this God Trunks is really well designed, and he's going to work out really well. If you're somebody that wants to, or you pulled like Few a few times, or you got the new Demigra a few times, I'd recommend that you pick up a copy of Mechikabura. This is a really, really good character here. The way that this character has Rainbow Warp changing, the way that he has Big Bad Bosses, he's going to make some of these extreme class characters look really, really good. So this is a character I highly recommend that you scoop up if you do not have him and you don't want to summon on the banner anymore. Him, God Trunks, and then if you want to kind of break it down to one more, this is where things get a little bit trickier, right? That third character, I think, is a bit of a tough choice. When it comes to characters that I really like, I think Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito is a really good choice. This guy works really well with, or not Limit Breaker, but just regular Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. He works really well with the Limit Breaker version, and obviously you guys can probably figure out that that is a very, very good rotation, right? If you're somebody that wants to bolster your grade 8 power version of this team and you don't have Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, I'd say that he isn't a terrible pickup. But when it comes to characters like this Toa, if you're picking up this Toa, it's just for the visual appeal of Toa, right? You're not picking up this character because of her utility or anything like that. It's just because you like Toa, and I understand it, okay? So if you want to potentially pick up this character with the stone, I completely get it, right? So that's something that you could potentially do. But again, I would not recommend that you do so with Toa, right? I think Super Saiyan 4 Gohan is like really the only fringe character that I would recommend. It isn't like a major release over these last few years. These Xeno, Goku, and Vegeta units are very good, but again, I would not recommend picking them up over some of the other ones. I say Xeno Goku is probably like the best of this little bunch down here. I think that Dark Mask King has his utility with the lifesteal mechanic, but again, I think that overall, like, the big dogs of this whole thing would definitely be God Trunks, Mechikabura, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. So if you are someone that has 3 of those stones, that would be the first 3 that I pick up in this specific batch, but you can potentially go with some other options, right? I think that Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's still, like, these 3 characters that we're looking at right here, like, really all of these characters, like, these 5, right? Like, this batch of 5, all 5 of these characters are still eligible to get an Easy A, right? These are going to be characters, because like new heroes batches are done, it seems to be, but the EZAs are not going to be done. They already mentioned that in the live stream, so we're still going to be getting Extreme Z Awakenings for these Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s. We're going to be getting them like Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly, etc, 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 right? So all of those characters are still going to be getting buffs in the future, so potentially picking them up now might not be a bad idea, because this potentially could be your last chance to obtain these characters in the future, or going forward, right? We don't know how they're going to handle heroes moving forward. I think more than likely the highest case scenario here is going to be that we get like a rerun of the banners, or just no reruns of the banners at all. But just with no new batches, right? Like maybe we get like EZA banners when they come out, right? So if we go to the summon tab over here, and then we go down to, where is it? We go to Dragonstone. I think this would be the most likely scenario, right? Where we kind of just get a wave of EZAs, and then we have a banner that we could summon on. So it's going to be like your one time a year to acquire heroes characters, right? A banner like this is not going to exist anymore, but a banner like this will exist in the future, I believe. So that's kind of my philosophy with the stone. Again, highly recommend that you do not buy it, but if you are going to be someone who purchases 3 of them, I think the top choice for me is God Trunks or Mechikabura, and then the backup is going to be Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, or potentially one of the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s, depending on which ones you're missing, and I think that would be an overall good choice for your Dragon Stones. So let's go ahead and move over to the blue coin shop now and talk about that. Okay, so for those of you who skipped over the paid section for the white Dragonstone, special Dragonstone, whatever you want to call it, this is going to be the section, excuse me, where we talk about the blue summon coins. Now, here is one thing that we have to keep in mind with the blue summon coins. These are going to be 300 per unit. Now, realistically, if you have been following the advice and the guidelines that I've been giving you over the last, I don't know, however many years I've been doing YouTube and giving advice for players, there's a really high chance that you do not have 300 blue coins, right? And you should not walk away from this hero celebration if you have 0. You should not be walking away with 300 blue coins. But let's just say you're an mid-game, end-game player who's been playing for a few years, you're just getting back into it, and you're like, oh, hey, look, I have 400 blue coins. I don't know how I got those, but who should I pick up from this batch? The advice that I gave here is going to be very similar to what I gave in the paid section, right, for the Super Saiyan, or the White Stone, right? So what do we have in this batch here? We are missing some key elements. Actually, no, this bunch is going to look very different now that I'm kind of scrolling through it. This bunch is going to have, you're really only going to have one choice realistically. So if you're going to pick up one character from this, the glaring, like obvious, like duh, dummy answer to me is easily, if you don't have him, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. This character is just going to work really well with Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito if you potentially have him. He just is really solid, right? This is, I believe, a crossover 180 league. Can I look at him from here? Yeah, so if we hold down on this right here, yeah, he's a crossover 180, so definitely a nice leader unit to have if you are potentially missing a leader for the heroes category. I think that he works out very well with other Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 characters who you're potentially going to be pulling on the heroes banners, and if you are missing this character, rather than chasing him unfeatured on another banner, you could just pick him up here. I think that overall is going to be a really smart play for you, so if you're somebody who wants to get a copy of Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, I think that is a really good idea if you're going to pick him up from coins, right? The difference with this banner is it's not going to have the most recent batches, right? So the difference between this one and the other one is God Trunks is not here, right? The Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s are not here. Mechikabura is not here, right? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but none of these characters are here, right? The Xeno Goku Super Saiyan, right? He's not here. So we are working from a smaller stock of characters, right? So like we have, I think if it comes down to characters that you're going to want to pick up here, I think Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku potentially could be a good option if you have everything else. I think Dark Mask King could be a really good option if you are missing him. He has that lifesteal mechanic, just going to reiterate that in case you skipped the video. So you're going to be able to take HP. 10% of the damage you deal is going to be given back as HP. So there's a really busted mechanic in certain events. So really good working character right there. If you want a nice support unit, same philosophy with Toa. I don't think you're really getting her because she's like a game-breaking character or anything like that. You just like the character for obvious reasons. But again, I don't think that like we should let those factors come in and influence how we're going to be spending our coins, right? I think we need to be smart with coins. It's not like let me just make this impulse purchase. Like let's get stuff we're missing. Let's get valuable things for our account. That's always going to be the philosophy that I take with coins. So TLDR, right? who are we going to pick up with yellow or with the blue coins if we potentially have them, right? I think that Super Saiyan 4 Vegito here to me is the clear favorite. I like Dark Mask King if you don't have him. I like Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Goku if you don't have him. I think potentially, like, really that's it. And if you are somebody that does not have 300 blue coins, and if you want to wait, just toss them into the Elder Kais and be happy with it, because Heroes this time of year is always stressing on the coin side or the Kai side of things, right? Because there's just no way that you're going to be able to have Kais, or you're not going to be able to farm up characters with the same name, right? There's no Warrior in Black, there's no Demigra, there's no Universal Tree, you know, SA Goku here, right? Like, this is you just can't farm them up. So it is really taxing on the Kais, and if you were potentially missing out on a lot of your Kais, then you probably know at this point that you could use those to get those back. So that's all I got for you in this one. Let me know down below what you guys are doing. Have you been summoning on this banner? Did you pick up those stones, and who did you get with them? Again, I don't recommend that you spend money, but I do need to at least make sure that if you did spend the money, I want to make sure I point you in the right direction. So thank you guys for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you are new so you don't miss out on any of the Dokkan content during this Hero celebration and moving forward. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.